everyone, let's go ahead and get started with adding and subtracting polynomials. So every page that I have here, I have an example that I'm going to work on, and then I put an extra example for you to try, and it has a solution there for you to check that. So let's go ahead and get started with this very first example that I have of adding two expressions to find a simplified expression. So when I'm adding these polynomials, notice that I put each polynomial in its own set of parentheses. Let's get into that habit so we won't have to worry about forgetting them in the future. So the very first one I have here, 6x squared plus 3x minus 4. There's a positive 1 in front of that expression. Then 2x squared minus x plus 5. There's also a positive 1 in front of that expression. Now you'll notice that this positive 1 here doesn't change anything, but those parentheses become really important when we get to those negatives and when it gets to multiplying. So very first thing here, distribute that positive 1 to the first group. That gives me 6x squared plus 3x minus 4. Then in that second group, 1 plus 2x squared gives me positive 2x squared minus x and plus 5. Now, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it so that my like terms are set next to each other. So I'm going to have 6x squared positive 2x squared. Then I'm going to have positive 3x minus x, or negative x, whichever you so choose. And then I have negative 4 plus 5, or minus 4 plus 5. Now that my like terms are set next to each other, I can combine the ones that are like terms. 6 plus 2 gives me 8x squared. 3 minus 1 gives me positive 2x. And negative 4 plus 5 gives me positive 1. All right, let's go on to our next example, which is going to include subtraction. Again, if you'd like, you can pause the video and then work on the one that I've left there for you to try. Actually, I would recommend that on all of these. I'm going to go on to subtracting our next one. Okay, so here, again, I've placed those parentheses around both of them. I didn't change any of the values on this example because I wanted you to see what happens to the values once we put a negative there. Okay, so the very first one has a positive 1 in front of that group, and now we have a negative 1 in front of the second group. The first group, 1 times 6x squared, 6x squared. 1 times 3x, positive 3x. 1 times negative 4, negative 4. Now, a negative in front of that group means that everything in that group is going to change operations. So all the signs are going to change. So instead of being a positive 2x squared, now it's going to be a negative 2x squared. Negative 1 times negative x now makes that a positive x. And negative 1 times positive 5 makes that a negative 5. Again, I'm going to write it so that my like terms are together. So I have 6x squared minus 2x squared. Then I have positive 3x, and now it is plus x. And then I have negative 4 minus 5. My like terms, I'll combine them. So 6 minus 2 gives me 4x squared. 3 plus 1 gives me positive 4x. And negative 4 minus 5, both of them are negative, and that gives me negative 9. Okay, again, here's an example for you to try. I'm going to suggest that you pause the video and try that one. So if you have any questions on this adding or subtracting polynomials, please let me know. See me in class, whatever you need, and we'll go over those ones.